Hey guys, this is Chad with Take One Film and Video here in Nashville, Tennessee, and today I've got Nate Anderson with Living as One. How's it going, Nate?
Hey, good. How about you, Chad?
Hey, I'm doing great. Listen, we've been talking about webcasting because everybody's on lockdown, and all of our customers, we've got churches, we've got corporate clients, they're all looking for different ways to communicate with their customers and their congregations. And so streaming is the big topic right now. And I wanted to bring you guys on because we've just partnered with Living as One, and we actually found out about you guys with one of our customers at Long Hollow Baptist that's here in the Nashville area. We actually did some videos with those guys, and we provided multi-camera upgrade solutions to get them in the 4K HD world. But one of the things that we actually learned about was their relationship with Living as One and how they were doing their multi-campus web streaming. And it was something that was totally different than what we had been used to, which we have done a little bit with, in web encoders and things in the past. But this was something totally different. And so we're really excited to be partnering with you guys. And I kind of want to share a little bit about what makes Living as One different than what most people might be used to. So I wanted just to kind of start there and tell us a little bit about your company, how you guys got started.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to. Yeah, so Living as One, we actually started out of a church down in Dallas, Texas. We're just a bunch of, church tech guys and gals by background. And, we of course, we don't work exclusively with churches, but most of who we work with and serve is churches. And we started really for us out of a frustration in our own church and in our own use of not being able to find a reliable video streaming solution. We were looking at the numbers, and almost 40% of our audience were typically leaving by the first buffering wheel. Almost 70% of our audience were leaving by the second buffering wheel. And the frustration for us was every off-the-shelf streaming solution that we tried was really based on around 90% of the same technology, and technology that frankly has been around, for about 15 years. And so what we came out with is the first truly resilient streaming solution where it takes advantage of a short delay and takes advantage of the ability to save locally onto an encoder before it sends to the cloud to ensure full resiliency. So now what happens is all of this data is being sent to the cloud, and the cloud's now able to check with it before it's being sent to the end viewer, where the cloud's able to check with it. It's able to say, hey, did I receive all this content? Is it perfect? Am I missing any information, missing any data or anything like that? And if it is, it can just ask the encoder to recorrect itself and re-upload that data until it's perfect. So what that means is now we have a lot fewer buffering wheels. We have, less streaming complaints, hopefully a larger streaming audience over time because they're able to actually engage with that content. They aren't leaving after the first buffering wheel. And they're watching this video from the cloud just the same way that you would watch a Netflix video rather than relying on a perfect connection.
So it's almost like a DVR, and that's kind of the way I looked at it when, because I actually attend the remote campus from Long Hollow Baptist and was watching that, and I've been really impressed at how there's just no dropouts. There hasn't been any problems with the stream. It's just so unusual. But they were showing it to me, and what was really cool is that the remote campuses can actually organically get into the sermon part or whatever part that they want to stream, where maybe their local praise and worship team or local pastors are doing whatever. It doesn't have to be on a clock. It doesn't have to be timed. It can be a little more organic. But the solution is really great, and I want to talk a little bit more about the different tiers of products because we talked about the multi-campus site just a little bit, but you also have just the web streaming. And I guess where I'm getting at is there are multiple tiers to your services and encoders. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So certainly, both of our platforms work the same way as far as resiliency goes. Web platform is for streaming, of course, to viewers watching online. The multi-site side of it, which is what you're mentioning that Long Hollow uses, is for the campus to campus side of it. Both serve, churches in unique ways, but provide the same idea, which is reliability, even through the problems of the public internet. Which we all know very well. And so, the web side of it is able to transmit to viewers with fewer buffering wheels watching online. All the multi-site side of it, just like you're mentioning with Long Hollow, now we can pull up that event, that message from another campus on a local decoder. And the difference with the multi-site side of it is your delay can be whatever you want it to be. So now, because we have that data saved at the encoder, at the cloud, and at the decoder, you can lose your internet connection between venues for as long as your delay is. So that, could be 2 minutes, could be 2 weeks between campuses. We find most churches are running about a 5-minute delay. That statistically gets you to a level where it's no different than having direct fiber between campuses, which is really cool. So now we have these decoders at the receiving sites, and you can play that content back, just like a DVR whenever you're ready to. Obviously, with the whole COVID situation, not a lot of churches or clients are thinking about streaming to physical venues right now, but the system's also very scalable. So you can start out with one side of the solution. You can start out with the web solution and be ready for the multi-site side of it, or vice versa.
Yeah, it's very cool. And one thing I did want to point out that I thought was very cool was the fact that you can actually do multiple streams down one encoder box. Instead of doing multiple encoders with GenLock and all these crazy things to sync, you can actually send two, it looks like you can send two 3G signals down one encoder. Is that correct?
Yeah. So the E2211 dual channel encoder, we can do two 1080p 60 video signals in full synchronization. So a lot of venues will use those to do, specifically for the multi-site setup. They'll use that to do a virtual speaker shot, on the center screen with program or IMAG. On the other one, or they'll send graphics or clean feed and program between those two signals, sent in full synchronization, and it just requires one encoder and one decoder. That's great.
Now, talk to me a little bit about, because one of the questions that we get a lot is how much internet bandwidth do I need? And maybe the customer's in a rural area and there's just not a lot available there. I mean, people always ask, how much do I need just to get started? And what's the answer to that?
Yeah, well, I'll walk you through kind of what our typical recommendations are. For 720p, usually we'll recommend around 4 to 6 megabits per second. For 1080p, we'll recommend around 8 to 12 megabits. And the reason for that is the reason why we recommend a range is your connection can be really inconsistent, which is really cool. Where now, even if your connection dips down below your encoding bit rates, or you have really bad packet loss, in normal situations, that would cause a buffering wheel. That would cause that data to just be missed because it doesn't get there by the time it gets to the CDN. With our solution, because it's all working from that cache, even if we have a really inconsistent connection, we can still have a perfect stream, which is really unique. Literally with the web platform, I don't know if I mentioned this, you can literally unplug the encoder from the internet. You can unplug the Ethernet cable for up to 90 seconds and still have a perfect stream, which is pretty amazing. So, we've seen situations where we've had clients use it on 4G hotspots. We've had streaming between cruise ships in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. We've had, some really unique situations now where you can deal with up to 99% packet loss. You can lose your connection entirely. And as long as your connection is sustained before that delay is up between campuses, or between that 90 seconds for web platform, it'll still be a perfect stream and nobody will notice anything.
Well, that's really impressive. Sounds like you can get really creative with the way that you can apply the solutions and roll them out. But the other thing I wanted to find out was that people always ask too, it's like, well, if I want to send over multiple platforms, for instance, we have a Facebook page or our YouTube channel, is your product capable with those platforms or multi-platform solutions?
Yeah, it certainly is. Yeah. Of course, Facebook, YouTube, really popular way to distribute video nowadays. And we stream to both of them simultaneously. We actually use a protocol straight from our cloud called Dash. We don't use RTMP anywhere in the transmission path. 15-year-old protocol made for Flash. We just don't trust it as far as quality or resiliency goes. So everything is pushed to our cloud where it's verified. And then we'll push to Facebook and YouTube using that Dash protocol from that perfect copy of data. So that means it doesn't take any more bandwidth from the host stream, because we're pushing that one stream, and then that's pushing off to YouTube and Facebook with that direct connection or direct integration. Full 1080p, full stereo audio, simultaneous to all those platforms.
Well, that sounds great. And listen, I just wanted to say we have been very excited about your product, and I really want to encourage everyone to go to your website at livingasone.com and check out the products and check out what you guys have. I mean, you've got some case studies, you've got some great examples of how your product is rolled out and implemented. But give us a call here at Take One as well, because we'd love to kind of walk you through the process a little more, and also to make sure that you have the infrastructure that you need to do whatever that you're looking to do on your video stream. So give us a call as well, 1-877-81-TAKE-ONE, or you can email us at mail@takeone.tv. Well, Nate, it's great talking to you, and thanks for your time.
Likewise. Thanks, Chad.
All right. Take care.